According to a recent report from the Associated Press, more than 1 million voters in the past year have switched to the Republican Party. The numbers span more than 36 states. The shift can be seen in suburban counties, primarily outside Denver, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. Mid-sized cities are also seeing voters who supported Democrats in 2020 now move to the GOP. Could emphasize this be a sign of what's to come in the midterm elections in November, now just 4 months away or so. Joining us now to discuss is Dr. Colin Swearingen, Associate Professor of Political Science at John Carroll University in Cleveland, Ohio. Dr. Swearingen, welcome. Great to see you. We'll get right to it here. That 1 million number, fascinating. Voters possibly changing parties. What do you believe are the factors driving this shift?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of things that could be influencing it. Number one is probably going to be the economy, inflation, and jobs. Of course, there's a cloud kind of emerging over the economy for the country in terms of potential for a recession. And so as voters are digesting this information, I know personally paying for gas, paying more for food, that's having a huge effect, I think, on how people are viewing the administration and potentially their voter registration.
Is this sort of thing unusual? I've been covering politics, for a couple decades now, and shifts this. It don't come along too often. Shifts this big, or am I missing the boat here?
Well, I mean, shifts do occur, but keep in mind that these numbers are national numbers, but a lot of the elections take place at the state level. So it's going to be interesting to see just where these results are going to be come November as the shifts take place. And yeah, there have been shifts going on, but you know what? Really, over the last 20 years, we've seen a huge change in voter results, especially in rural and exurban counties moving Republican and some urban areas moving Democratic. So these shifts occur, but this shift is unique. This shift is different from what we've seen maybe the 20 years at the end of the 1900s.
Well, of course, we saw what happened in Virginia not too long ago with Youngkin getting elected. And for sure, it was thought Democrats would win that race, the governor's race. Youngkin comes out on top. Let me get to, Roe v. Wade. With that being dumped by the Supreme Court, there are some predictions that this will motivate Democrats or pro-abortion supporters to head to the polls in November. Your take on that?
It's possible. One of the things that's interesting is every time we have a midterm election or even a presidential election, there are events that happen throughout the year that people speculate could make a difference in November. I think one of the things to keep in mind is that, we are fresh off of that decision. It's only a week old and people are still reacting to it. Whether or not that's going to be a huge issue is, I think, a little in doubt come November. But I will add this. Because abortion is one of the main social issues facing the country, it's been a huge issue at the forefront of many voters' minds over the last 50 years. If there was one social issue that could maybe affect things in November, this is it. So I'm skeptical that it's going to make a huge difference in November, but it could. It's one of those issues that I think we need to study a little bit more.
Do Republicans take control of Congress in November?
Great question. I think right now it's better. They have better chances of taking back the House than they do the Senate. I almost think it's a reverse of 2018. If you recall, 4 years ago, Democrats took back the House, but Republicans gained a couple of seats in the Senate. A couple things are going to matter. One, candidate quality and the ability for some of the Republican challengers to raise enough money and effectively attack their Democratic incumbent opponents. And whether or not Democrats can play enough defense in their turf in some of the key Senate races like Arizona, like Georgia, swing states now. But if Democrats can play well, they have a chance of holding the Senate. But I think the House, much more likely to go to the Republicans.
And real quickly, the main race you're watching, the close one, or the one everyone should keep their eye on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for a couple of races. One, of course, in Georgia. But another one, I'm really interested to see what happens in Florida, because right now you've got a couple of Republican candidates, Marco Rubio in the Senate and Ron DeSantis in the governor's race. They're running for re-election, and how well they do could portend for a 2024 GOP nomination battle if President Trump does not run. So I'm watching that one as well as Arizona.
All right. We've got this all recorded to see if your crystal ball turns out, Dr. Swearingen.
I know. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Hey, thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate your insights and your observations. Appreciate it very much, and we'll talk to you later.
Not a problem. Enjoyed it.